and it's clear to see the echoes of World War II, and we're seeing, visuals, and we're not seeing the visuals, but we're hearing about them that show that are Stalingrad like. The other aspect that echoes World War II is this megalomaniac expanding his reach. And the question is okay, where's the Winston Churchill line? And I know that was his own country, but where's the line that says, okay, this guy is going to continue to do this because he was, if he's successful in Ukraine, what's next? Is he going to try? Finland's not yet in NATO, and that's a strategic area for him. What's next? And what is our sort of bright red line in your opinion?
Yeah. I mean, so my own opinion, and I really hope I'm right on this, is that if and when he seizes Kiev and gets most of everything east of the Dnieper River under relative control, will stop. And he'll leave the majority of the western half of Ukraine alone. Because he is now, economically, it's very difficult you would have to be head buried in sand to not realize Russia is now bankrupt.
Right.
I mean, you gotta admire the power of the Western, finances. Is that, the Russian economy was the 11th largest economy in the world before the conflict. I don't know where they are right now, but it's going to be like in the 30s or 40s. They're going to be in the same space as Uganda or, Vietnam or other countries that are very depressed because their economies are not as thriving as some of the other economies that have a very large industrial base. So, yeah, it's a great question. I think that he's absolutely crushed right now. And economically, if you're at $800 billion yesterday, and today it's $8 billion, my belief is that if this is ever going to have a quick conclusion, it'll be an inner sanctum person who's like that, probably a general who's been on the front lines and sees how many of his cousins and brothers are being killed and says, I'm done, and smuggles a pistol into a meeting. I think that's why generals are sitting far away from Putin, is that Putin knows. They attempted to assassinate Hitler 26 times from 1929 till he killed himself in the bunker in 1945. And most of them, I think like 92% of those attempts were inner circle or fairly high-placed general officers who said, enough is enough. You're killing people, and this is a bad. I guarantee there's people inside Putin's inner circle who are saying that. So I would say Putin is getting close to the red line, and he fired missiles within 20 kilometers of the Polish border. If an aircraft makes it into this airspace and is advancing towards Poland and doesn't turn in time, U.S. Patriot batteries will fire once it hits a certain limit. I mean, I can speculate, I think it's about 20 nautical miles into the interior of Ukraine, because at some point a military aircraft cursing on a line is not able to turn, but it's an armed combatant, and I'm not going to wait. It's kind of like when someone draws it.
Sure.
And in the act of drawing, you shoot the guy, because your assumption when he does this is I'm his target. And so, most of this, the NATO line is kind of more like this. My weapon's coming towards you. So I'm using that as a metaphor. But if the plane, a jet, a rocket, a missile, a tactical nuclear device is detonated in proximity to a NATO country, Poland in this case, I think we'll see a NATO response. So I think we're close. I don't think Russia will cross it, because I think they're really good at pushing our scare button and saying, look, I just struck a target 20 kilometers. 5 kilometers, it's not 2 kilometers. So screw you. I think these are warnings for NATO as much as everything else. I'd stay away because I have reach and I will get there. Any aircraft and missile, any vehicle weapon system that goes across the border will invoke a NATO response. So the red line is the border itself. We're so close to it. On the other hand, you have card-carrying GRU in the country of Poland, a NATO country, that are operating on behalf of Putin and his armies, collecting data and intelligence. I mean, this is a fiction author's dream, because literally all the things that we write about in books are happening right now. Yeah. Taylor, Mark Cameron, Mark Graney, all of our favorite authors are absolutely beside themselves right now, because they've all written about this. Yeah. All James Bondian stuff that the gray man does is happening. And the opponent is doing the things that he's talked about in his books. So in a lot of regards, fiction writers, I think, and this is kind of where it comes back to you guys, is the fiction reviewer aficionados, is that it's happening, and it's happening in Technicolor in 3 dimensions, and it's real.